The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay solid just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dough. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope while you at it. We keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Sirr of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. Yes, all of it, all together. And we got another episode of A Business Minute. And today, I got another guest. Kiddeaux, an independent wrestler / artist / photographer / director. Bruh, this man does he's a Renaissance man. That's the best way I can describe it. Brother, before we go any further, let me just give you your flowers while you're here. I've been stalking your Instagram. Over for like the past week, I've been stalking you, bro. And I'm in love with your work, your use of lighting, your use of your work, like even the energy you bring, even when showing yourself in every facet. I've been amazed by. So thank you for taking time out of your day to do this interview, brother.
And I appreciate you guys. We just out here. I'm just trying to highlight the best blackness that I can. So if people get a little glimpse of that and just whatever I'm doing, I'm happy and my mission is complete. So I definitely appreciate that. Goal has been accomplished.
More power to you, brother. So we're going to start with our first question, and it's an obvious one. What really started your inspiration into professional wrestling?
Man, I had this friend when I was in maybe I think we were kindergarten or first grade. His mom from the South, she loved WCW. So I used to just always go over and we would just watch WCW. And so again, kindergarten. So this is what, 1992, 1993-ish. So we would just go and watch WCW, and it just, from the first moment, it was a wrap.
Oh man. I remember those days. It was my thing. Thunder, Nitro. Even on Saturdays, you had to.
Oh yeah, Worldwide was my jam. That was we didn't have cable at my house, so it was Worldwide on public TV. That's what kept me when I went to my friend's house.
Yeah, live from the power plant. So, well, what I wanted to know is how did you go about making this a profession for you? Because I mean, like Sir said before, you dabble in a lot of stuff. So how did that become something where you're just that's a part of where I'm putting my energy into?
It's a funny story. I was after college, I went and I taught English in Korea, and I ran track all the way up post college, ran at Olympic trials, and I just needed something to do. And I actually came across Marty Bell, way back in the day, when she was first getting started. And she linked me with Mia Yim, who was wrestling at CZW at the time. And she was like, yo, go meet my friend Mia. She's awesome. I went down, awful win. Never been to an indie show. Never, I saw CZW on TV, public access when I was young. And I went and I fell in love immediately. I was just like, okay, I have to do this. Met her, linked up, talked to her, talked to Black G's. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. This blends everything I love. And who didn't want to do this as a kid? But my first indie show sold me completely. And I was like, all right, I'm doing it. It was the day after my birthday. I was like, all right, I'm dropping everything. This is what I'm doing. I don't have to think about it. Signed up. The next day I showed up, did a tryout.
Wow. Okay, so how long have you been doing independent wrestling?
I almost don't want to count this year, but next year will be 10 years.
Whoa. So you got the experience, brother.
Yeah, I've been around for a while. You wouldn't know it. I don't. My age is one of those things where I keep it kind of hidden. Like people that know me know, but people don't realize because I've done more behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll see more things that I've had my hand in than you'll actually see of me in wrestling. And so I took about 3.5, almost 4 years to just do stuff that wasn't necessarily me wrestling in wrestling. So combined, I've been 10 years in.
Wow.
Awesome. So you kind of alluded to some of the stuff that you do, that wasn't just in the ring. Kind of share with the viewers kind of some of the stuff that you do, because I want you to be able to put out everything that you got, man, what we can do, how we can support.
So in regards to wrestling, I literally do it all. There are times where I'll go to a show, I will wrestle. I've wrestled in the main event, done all the commentary for every match up to my show, filmed the whole show, helped put matches together, helped formulate talent. There was a short span for about 3 years where I was the ring announcer for an all women's promotion. So I really do it all. Like I want to be that guy in wrestling you can count on that does every single thing. I can run lighting, I can film your show, I can edit your show, I can do the graphics, whatever you need me to do, I have the skill set. So I do it all.
And that's why I was so enamored with you in particular, why I wanted to interview you, because I saw the different things you were doing. You even made a kind of a kidding post where you were designing your ring gear and you were saying, coronavirus got me busy. And I'm like, man, this guy is really talented, because I'm on the outside, but I've seen some shoddy stuff from people trying to make their own, but your stuff looks legitimate and it's distinguished. It really looks like your own. And that's what brought me to your art.
That's my thing. I don't want anybody to ever, that's one thing above all. A lot of people want to be, I'm here to be me. I don't care what anybody else says. My lasting impression is when you met me, you knew that I was me and I was always me. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I don't want to do it anybody else's way. I once at a seminar met Kevin Nash and he told me, and it was the craziest thing. I didn't get it until a few years ago. He was just like, you won't succeed in professional wrestling because you're too smart and you're too good at too many things. It doesn't work that way. And it always hit me. It's like, dang, that's messed up to say to somebody. But here we are almost 10 years and I'm like, I get it. And he's right. Like, and it's crazy. I'm just like, it doesn't work that way. But I'd rather have it no other way. I'd rather not make it big and always people go, all right, I remember him because he was him. That's more important for me.
Saying that, I don't want to make it seem like you're trying to emulate anyone, but is there someone that is in the business that you see that is doing the same thing that gives you that inspiration to keep going? Because I know sometimes that can be demoralizing hearing, you're too smart to be able to do this. Right. So is there somebody that you see doing that now that you really take inspiration for? In regards to like inspiration, I don't think there's that. There's nobody that does it like me, but there are people, like I look at the people that I came up with and the people that supported me when I wasn't doing any of this stuff. The people like some of my closest friends when I was coming up in wrestling. Again, like I said, Mia Yim. I look at her now on TV and she's killing it. Shane Strickland, who's now, those are like the people that I look up to because we literally all came from the same place. Like we have similar upbringings in life. Like we hit the roads. Like we kind of grew into who we were at the same time. So like I look at my friends, people that they said would never do it, me again, because she's a female, Asian female, oh, you're not going to make it in wrestling. She's on TV. Like, for my size, he's a guy, oh, he's never going to make it. And look at him out here killing it. So I look at my friends who have like been like, you know what? At these people, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So those are my inspirations, really.
Wow. I think that's powerful. A lot of times it's hard to say that you're happy to see other people living the dream when you have the common dream. But just hearing your passion for the business period, where you don't have to be on the forefront, you're just happy to be a part of it, says a lot about your character. You just want to see the machine moving. And I think everybody has a different idea of success. But if you're doing what you want to do in any facet you can for a business that you love, I envy you, brother. I envy you, honestly, because you legitimately sound happy. And
I'm so blessed to see the people that, like, again, if you follow me, I always say it's never about me. I sit and I tout about my skill set, but I don't ever want it to be about me. I've had so much success in life already, doing so many things, even outside of wrestling that people don't even get the opportunity to do. I've touched on so many things. This is not about me anymore. I get so happy when I see my friends killing it. Like when I see people that genuinely are great people, when I see them killing it and I can just even be a little part of that, oh, I'm good. If I can just if I can surround myself in like a circle of people that are just out here killing it and they're happy, that's my energy and I'm good. Like you'll hear, like even now, like I get excited just thinking about the people that like y'all are doing it and I'm happy. You're giving me energy. I can keep going. I've wanted to quit so many times. I see my friends killing it and I'm just like, all right, I can keep on going a little bit longer. Y'all are refilling that energy.
That's amazing.
I think that's the real positive thing about having people in your life that do that. Like even if they're on a totally different, path than what you're doing, as long as they're able to really do what they love and you get that energy and they push you to become the better version of yourself that you can be. I think that's really what's inspirational about your whole story. You know what I mean? Because like it seems like you're selfless and you're really willing to do what you can for not only the people that you know, but also the people that are pushing forward to be able to do the best that they can. So I wanted to just say kudos on that, man, because like a lot of times, me outside looking in, you hear all those stories about people kind of being cutthroat with one another, but someone just being able to lend a hand and honestly take the time even to talk with us. I just wanted to say thank you for that because, there's been a lot of people that Jeremy's tried to reach out to that, sometimes don't give us that opportunity or may try to do it for, and we just want to shine a light on all Black people trying to do well and anybody who's trying to do well, to be honest with you.
Fact.
Yeah, we gotta grow. We're all one people, man. Especially us as Black folks, brown folks. If we can't do for each other, we can't expect anybody else to do for us. So anybody else, especially brown people, if I can't stop for a minute, I'm failing. I'm failing you. Like you hit me up and I was just like, all right, I might have a moment to answer right now, but when I get a moment, I'm going to respond. Because if I can't take that 1 second, how can I ever expect anybody to support me? That's what my granddaddy taught me a long time ago. You got to do right by people. And too many people worry about being liked and all that fun stuff. Somebody posted it. I don't know if you guys saw Fences, right?
Mm.
And Denzel had that one line. Too many people spend too much time worrying about people being liked. I'm just worried about doing right by people and people doing right by me. That's the most important thing for me. Right. If I can take a couple minutes, I'm more than happy to.
We appreciate you, bro. So I'm going to transition to my next question because it's more specifically about you. It's always beautiful to talk about the successes of following a dream, but a lot of times I feel like it would be unfair to not talk about the steps it took to get there. I feel like we'd be selling an incomplete dream. Right. So that being said, what were some of the obstacles you encountered along the way of following this dream?
Too many. So even before the journey began, I grew up as a cripplingly shy kid. Like I come from a Black family. We all about the events, all about getting together. I would hide in my room. And I didn't even release that until like college. And so for me to be in wrestling at all, like that's always been a big hindrance up until I really found my voice maybe a few years ago, like really found it. So that's always been a hindrance. And this sounds so arrogant, but I don't mean it to come across that way. I was never a person that truly felt failure, like in regards to like being athletic and really like, I've always succeeded in every sport and every like athletic endeavor. Probably I think my second month in wrestling, I broke down and cried my eyes out because I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think it was so hard for me. And it was like, and that was my own perception. It was that it was hard. Mind you, I picked it up a lot quicker than most people, apparently. My brain didn't see that. I literally, after sitting at training, I literally stopped in the middle of a workout, walked out. Mind you, if you guys remember, this is at the ECW arena. That's where I train to be a wrestler. Like sat outside of the steps where there's a history of tough, rough dudes bawling my eyes out. No one could tell me anything. Ready to quit, ready to cry, and it broke me so bad. Like, one of the most soul-crushing moments of my life was, I don't think I can do this. I'm not good enough. And that sat with me for so long. It broke me down. It made me almost bitter. And I had the chip on my shoulder for the longest time, and it took me forever to get that. So that's one part of the story I will never not tell. Like, I cried, and it wasn't like a little tear note. It was bawling. You could probably hear me down the block, and I don't hide that. I'm not scared to admit that, because it was a part of this person that you see now. That had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was such a test, and just the normal stuff. I've had a lot of injuries, unfortunately, and that comes from years and years of being high-level athlete, like just surgeries and prolonged things that have hindered me from really achieving anything. And then just not being able to do it just mentally as a Black dude, just like, all right, there's only room for a couple of us. You're not that one. And that's a real feeling I've always had. So for me, it's always been, the biggest hindrance has always been me being in my head.
With that, you talking about that hindrance and kind of getting out of your head, like, how did you do that? Was it just going through stuff and just, or what, did you have some help with people? I mean, of course you got friends that'll probably help you out, but how did you kind of get over that hurdle?
I had to, well, of course I had friends. Again, there's a few people, I'm not going to keep a whole job, but they know exactly who they are, who stepped up to the plate big time, who, dude, you've got something that you can't create, you can't sell, and you have to get it together for yourself. Was one of the realest things I ever heard. You have to get it together for yourself. There was a person specifically who hit me with, again, some of the realest stuff. It was just like, okay, so your trainer did their part, and it's time for you to go. Too often you get stuck in this bubble, and you're scared to move. And that your movement is hindering you so much. You're so scared and you're so stuck that you're not allowing yourself to blossom and grow. And then it's just me just saying, you know what, dude? You invested all that money, all that time. I lived in New York when I first started training, and I was traveling from New York to Philly every single day to come train.
Shit.
Missing the bus, like back. My job was a teacher at the time, so like missing the bus to come back, having to get up and go teach the next day, coming down every weekend for shows, driving the ring truck. And I sat and I thought, like, dude, you literally quit 2 jobs to move down to Philly and wrestle. Oh, you're not going to give it up. You're not going to just quit. You're going to get it together like you always do, and you're just going to make it happen. And just, I sat and I just spent time developing who I was, and was like, all right, I can't be a character. I have to just be, because what you see is me. And that was, I had to say, you know what, you're good enough as a person, and it'll elevate your character. And there's been no turning back since.
Awesome. Sacrifice. That's it, man. To put yourself in a position where there's no turning back. Yeah, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. So let me transition to another question really quick. 10 years is a lot of experience. Is there any one memory that comes to mind that lets you, that kind of click the switch that made you realize that I'm doing it. I'm doing what I want?
If I had one particular moment, yes. And this is such a taboo thing. I was wrestling for this company. My friend was booking the shows and he stopped. And the company still had faith in me to just continue. But what I found that the moment that it hit me was when I realized I have the ability to make people's day. Like, we hear all the time, we engage in emotion, but I had someone come to me one day and say, you know what? I was having the absolute worst day, like, that you could imagine. And even in booing you, I felt so much love and appreciation. Even after the show, you come in to spend your time and say hello. it literally meant the world to me. Like, you saved me from really being in a deep place. And that moment for me was just like, dang, like that's what I want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's that moment. I want people to feel that every single time that I do anything, like in life, not even just, it's beyond wrestling. If I can have people say, you touched me, like in a way, like in that sort of way, that's life. That's a life changing, like, feeling to have. That's when it clicked. I was just like, oh, I can do this, and I'm going to do this.
So I went, like, I remember what you were saying just a little while ago, where you were going from like New York to Philly, you said, and you said that you were a teacher too. So you were doing multiple jobs. The reason I bring that up is because I wanted to really kind of take emphasis on the fact that you did multiple things to make sure that your dream happened. So, you were saying that you were teaching and you had two other jobs before then?
So when I first started training, I was teaching. I also had my own little freelance, like, graphic design. And then I was the weekend, like, stock manager for a retail store. And then ended up being a corporate, like, on the corporate, like, design team. And so I was working all three of those jobs because living in New York isn't cheap at all. And so I was doing all that just to really get by and just to, like, do what I could to just make a better life for myself. But when wrestling happened, I was just like, all right, I can't I'm jeopardizing my future outside of wrestling, being tired for work. This is going to leave nasty, like, if I do transition, I can't look for a recommendation for people that I haven't been giving my 100% to. So I had to just make the conscious decision that wrestling was going to be something that filled a certain void. And I knew, like, something in my heart just told me, this is going to open up so many other doors and open up so many avenues inside yourself. You can give all this up and you'll get it back. And so just that was the sacrifice I was willing to make, not only just for wrestling, but for the person I wanted to be outside of that.
Love it. So my next question, this is one of my infamous questions. And the reason I say infamous is because it's a long-term question. Where would you like to see yourself as a person, as an artist, as a photographer, as a designer, in all facets? Where would you like to see yourself in 1 year, in 3 years, and then in 10 years?
That's such an easy question for me. I don't know how people have it. So in 1 year, I'm writing a book. I want my book to be done, published, and good to go. That's my 1 year goal. You said 1 year, 5, and then so 5 years from now, I want my nonprofit to be established, or at least on the forefront to being established. I want to open up a polishing school outside of for young, like, inner city kids to come and just learn the skills that we didn't learn in school. Stuff that now here at my age, I'm just like, why didn't anybody teach me this? Like, the skills that I have now, if I would have had those at 19, I'd be somewhere else doing something crazy. And in 10 years, 10 years from now, I just want to be happy. That's my 10-year goal. I just want to be happy and fulfilled. What I'm doing is in the Lord's hands, but outside of that, like, I just want to be happy and be fulfilled in whatever I'm doing.
What can the only thing I was going to ask is how we can support you, how we can be able to, back you as far as that's concerned, because, like, man, it's all about just making sure that we do what we can for one another.
Supporting me, I would keep doing your thing. That's the biggest thing. You keep doing your thing and just keep me in the loop. Like, that's because me allowing me to support y'all is going to help me in the long term. I got links posted everywhere for everything. Art, we're kind of slowing down on right now just because I can't do shows. Fashion just drops when it drops, honestly. And just keep an eye on the book stuff. That's the big endeavor. The book, I really wanted to touch people, so that's kind of where all my energy is going right now. The book, and I'm looking to buy a wrestling ring. Not gonna tell people what for, but I'm looking to buy a wrestling ring, and we're gonna work that out.
Hey, I like to hear new endeavors. You know what I'm saying? I'm always on the lookout for that, man. Two final things. My next question is a typical question I gotta ask a wrestler. I have to. I just have to. I just have to. If there's any particular wrestler, I don't care what promotion, I don't care living or passed on, just any particular wrestler you would like to have a program with, who would you choose?
God, the Great Muta, without question. We could do magic.
Okay.
Him and I could create magic like nobody. Oh my god, I dream about this. We could have a program that could potentially change wrestling, and I would take that thought to the grave.
Whew. I was not expecting that.
No, nobody everybody expects like either the WWE or the AEW folks or sometimes you get the New Japan people. But to go all the way like as far as what you did with the Great Muta, I feel you on that one.
He was going to say, I fucks with you. That's what he was going to say. I know it.
Yeah,
I know
I'm trying to be, I got my 8-year-old in the back, and so I can't really yell and cuss like I want to. So.
All right. Well, Kiddeaux, I got one final question, and we'll wrap up the interview with this. The hardest thing in the world is to take an idea or a dream and pursue it. It's also the scariest. What words of encouragement would you have for someone who just has a dream and they're concerned what everyone else would think, or if they're concerned about failing? What words of encouragement would you have for them?
That was my biggest struggle, just getting over people's perceptions of me. I would say we have to just you have to think about yourself. Too often we think about what other people think, about what other people want. And we have to start realizing that so often that when people think about their perceptions of us, it's based upon what they've created, the idea of you that they've created in their own head. It's not your job to live up to that. Your expectations have to be your own, because everyone else's expectations for you, for the most part, are inherently selfish, because it's what they want for you or what they can get out of you. And that's not a bad thing. That's what we are as people. But I think too often we put other people's opinions above ourselves. And so I just tell people, learn to say no. Don't be scared, and just understand that you are at this very moment more than likely the best version of you. And you have to make the conscious decision to be better. So just go out there and do it, because the worst that people can say is no.
That is, and that's the mindset I carry going forward. I reach out to so many, and I just be honored, to receive a response back. So, Dez, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Man, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Like I definitely feel the energy, feel the good vibes from you guys.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And before you go, I just want to give you an opportunity to plug your social media. If anybody wanted to follow you or see your work or check out some of, the art that you do, because y'all, I'm telling y'all, this dude is a beast.
I'm looking at that one in the back. I'm looking at right behind you.
Janet.
Yes.
Yes, that's my Janet piece. All of my art is centered around strong Black women for the most part.
Yes.
And that's important to me.
Can I snap? I'm gonna snap.
I was raised by a Black mama, so But Slay Dez Slay on Instagram and Twitter for wrestling, at Hey Kid Vicious for art, photography, and just the book stuff. All the other everything's linked through those things, so you can click on any one of my links. It'll take you where you gotta go.
All right, and I'm pretty sure we put a nice little graphic above his head with all his information, just like he stated. And with that being said, shout out to Kiddeaux, Dez Monroe in the building, y'all. It's been your boy Sirr, your boy Mr. Stokes, and we are out.